Welcome back everyone. Today we are looking at the TAKARA TOMY TLK-EX Dark Optimus Prime. And just looking at the packaging, it's pretty much the same as the regular release Optimus Prime, except it's in black and white. And TAKARA TOMY usually releases their exclusives in black and white, and we've seen this in the Tokyo Toy Show exclusives, the magazine exclusives. And here we can see on the front the Transformers logo in Japanese. Down here at the bottom, Dark Optimus Prime TLK-EX. Not sure what the EX stands for, but it's pretty cool anyway. We get the graphic here on the side, Transformers logo running down there. Another cool graphic of Optimus on the side here, Earth's greatest protector. And we have some images of the vehicle mode and the robot mode right there. Transforms in 30 steps. That's it. So this is a limited release here in Japan, and you can get it through 7-Eleven, through their 7-Eleven website. They're having a Transformers Last Knight campaign, kind of celebrating the release of the Last Knight movie here in Japan, which hasn't been released yet. It's going to be released on August 4th, and you can pick up some pre-release tickets along with the limited Voyager TLK-EX Optimus Prime figure. So just to give you guys a quick look of the ticket, has some nice artwork there on the front, barcodes at the back, and I think you can keep this after you use it, which is a nice souvenir. And it says right there on the front, それは本当にヒーローなのか? Which translates into, is that really a hero? Okay, and here is TLK-EX Dark Optimus Prime out of the package. So obviously both the EX version and the regular release Prime share the exact same body mold. There are no differences. All the differences are cosmetic, and this is pretty much what we're here for, to look at the paint differences in both figures. As you can see, Dark Optimus Prime uses a lot darker color palette with the blues and the grays, while the regular release Prime uses brighter, I guess more vibrant colors, 2 shades of gray for the regular release, whereas the TLK Prime only uses that one darker, almost gunmetal gray throughout his body. And here I'm just going to give you a 360 view, and you can see that there are some subtle differences in the highlights, gold accents and the silver accents, but we're going to go through those carefully in detail later on. So one thing that I love about this figure, and I think a lot of people can agree with me on this, is just how incredibly well sculpted it is. There is just so much detail, going on throughout the whole figure, and when painted well, can look phenomenal. So the sides of Dark Prime's mouth plate is painted blue, so is the top of his head and the middle of his crest, whilst the regular release uses a straight up silver for the middle of his mouth plate and on the top of his head on the crest. Dark Optimus Prime is molded in a dark, almost gunmetal grey plastic, whilst the regular release uses a bright blue. And whilst Dark Optimus Prime is nowhere near perfect, I think TAKARA TOMY have done a pretty good job in painting their version of this mold. You can also see that it's painted with that dark blue on the side, while the regular release doesn't have any paint apps at all. Dark Prime uses a metallic purple with some silver highlights for its pupils, and the regular release uses a kind of teal bright blue for its eyes, and it does have some highlights there on the top, silver highlights on the top of the eyes as well. So here you can see the biggest difference is in the chest. The Dark Prime has the movie accurate flame design painted on there, whilst the regular release just has that metallic blue paint over the red plastic. The chest, the torso is painted a bright silver. The side armor pieces next to his head there, they are painted that same metallic blue, whilst the main torso, the main body of Dark Prime, is unpainted and just molded in that dark gunmetal grey. But we do get some highlights, some gold highlights there on the torso, which I think is a nice touch. Looking at the arms for the regular release, it does have some silver detailing there on the bicep. Again, the Dark Prime is not painted, again molded in that dark metallic gray, but when you look at the forearms are painted all the way to the actual hands, which I think is movie accurate, while the regular release kind of stops there at the forearm, and the hands are just a solid unpainted gray plastic. Looking at the back here, we do get some painted silver smokestacks there for Dark Prime, while the smokestacks are left unpainted for the regular release. Silver, they use silver for the Dark Prime here, and they also use silver for the regular release as well. But again, the biggest difference obviously in the flame design, we have some painted flame designs there for Dark Prime on the back there, for the side, for the doors of the truck mode, whilst it is left pretty much unpainted, no flame design I mean, for the regular release. And for the forearms, you can see there that the flame design is different for both of these versions. We get a more detailed, I guess longer flame design here for Dark Prime, whilst we get just a shorter, I wouldn't say less detailed, but it's definitely different here on the regular release. So looking at the bottom half of both of these figures, you can see here on Dark Prime, the side armor pieces here are painted a dark blue, and they are unpainted for the regular release. The front skirt armor piece here is molded in a blue plastic, in the dark blue plastic for the Dark Prime, and is molded in that bright blue plastic for the regular release. We do get some gunmetal highlights there at the bottom, and some silver highlights there for the regular release as well. If you look at the shins, they are painted a bright silver for the regular release, and the shins here are actually painted a gunmetal grey, because the actual leg here is molded in that dark blue plastic. And we do again get those gold highlights here for the Dark Prime, and we do get some red paint here for the feet as well, which is movie accurate, while the regular release is unpainted in that kind of light grey plastic. So again, as you can see, the flame designs on both figures are different, and I do believe the Dark Prime here has the more movie accurate, screen accurate flame design. You can also see that there is some silver highlights there for the side of the truck, and it's unpainted here for the regular release. The hubcaps are painted silver here, the rims are painted silver here for Dark Prime, and left unpainted for the regular release. So both Primes do come with the exact same accessories. They both come with the swords. The Dark Prime has the dark gunmetal grey hilt and the bright metallic purple for the blade, and the regular release is molded in that kind of toyish bright grey color and painted in a bright orange. Looking at the shields, again the mold is the same. The regular release does have some paint apps there. It's the kind of bright teal or blue there, and it is molded in a dark grey plastic, while the Dark Prime here is molded completely in that dark blue plastic that you can see on his body as well. And I don't know why they left it unpainted, because it does look really dull, and it does, both of these shields do have a fair bit of detail on them, so again when painted up can look pretty cool. In terms of size, they are pretty small for a Voyager figure. They do look pretty cool, they do have a lot of detail in them, but for me personally, I do think the swords are a little bit too short, and the shields are just a little bit too small. So I'm not going to be going over the articulation and transformation, because it is essentially the same mold as the regular release, and I'm pretty sure by now all of you have seen how it transforms, and articulation wise what it can do, being countless other videos and reviews out there already. But I think I do share the same gripes as most people who own this figure, mainly articulation wise. Obviously the knees having really limited movement there, the feet having no ankle pivot, and the wrists not having any swivel, it being a sword wielding figure, I think that's a real minus, because you do need those swivels to get some dynamic poses out of this figure, which it doesn't have, unfortunately. Alright, and here we have vehicle mode. So again, both figures share the exact same mold, so the only difference being the paint apps and the color palette. The Dark Optimus Prime here having the darker color palette, and the regular release here having the lighter, brighter color palette. Right off the bat, you can see the flame design on the front there is completely different. And again, as I mentioned before, I do believe that the Dark Prime has the more movie accurate flame design. You can see here, especially on the fenders, that the front fenders of the truck, it's not carried over. It's just kind of like one. I don't even know if that's a flame design, but it doesn't look as good as on the Dark Prime here. Both figures have the silver the silver grille, have the silver detailing here on the top. And if you move it to the side like this, you can see the flame designs here on the regular release. They aren't as intricate as on the Dark Prime here. You can see that the flames on Dark Prime, they're kind of interwoven into each other, and they extend all the way back to the cab, whilst the regular release is kind of just a flat, two-dimensional flame pattern right there. And most of the side door is just painted red, whilst the flame design does start from the front of the cab going all the way to the back for the Dark Prime. And other differences you'll notice is that there is no Autobot logo here for Dark Prime on the side there. There is some silver detailing here on the grille and on the side of the door there. And the canisters here, the gas tanks, they're painted silver, which is the same as the regular release, but the steps aren't painted silver. And you can see that the rims are painted silver here for the Dark Prime, but not painted for the regular release. Turning around to the back, you can see the smokestacks are painted silver here on Dark Prime, but left that kind of Hasbro light grey plastic here on the regular release. And both shields, attach on the back here of the vehicle mode. And if you turn it on the underside, you can see that the swords do store underneath as well. So I kind of wanted to leave my opinions and thoughts about the figure until the end of the video and just give you guys, this is what the figure is, these are the differences, not trying to say which is better or worse, kind of comparison. So now that we're here at the end of the video, I gotta say overall, I really do enjoy this figure. Here he is standing next to Evasion Mode Optimus Prime, which is another great Voyager class Optimus Prime. In terms of transformation, Evasion Optimus Prime is more complex, but the Last Knight Optimus Prime is more fun. He has better articulation, he lacks in articulation, but overall both figures are great and represent their movie counterparts really well. So let's take him out of the picture for now and bring in another Voyager class figure, the Dark of the Moon Megatron. I don't have the Last Knight Megatron. That is a Toys R Us exclusive here in Japan, and I haven't had a chance to pick it up, but I will, and I'll post some pictures up on my Instagram to show you some comparisons with Dark Optimus Prime here. But both of the figures look pretty good together, and again, this was a pretty cool Voyager class figure. I didn't keep most of my movie figures, but the ones that I did really enjoy, I kept, and this was one of them. So going back to the comparison, here is Dark Optimus Prime with the regular release, and which one do I think is better, which one do I prefer? I would have to go with the TLK-EX Dark Optimus Prime, and it's just painted a lot nicer, and like I mentioned before, all the details are there. It is a fantastic mold, a fantastic sculpt The silhouette, the way the body is molded, looks really accurate to the CG models, even more so than the leader class figure, the AD31 mold, the more recent Caliber Optimus Prime. You know, the shoulder pads here are more screen accurate, the way the actual torso goes into that kind of V shape there. Even the head, I love the head sculpt for both of these figures for this Voyager Prime. And yeah, just when painted well and when painted correctly in the right places, it just looks phenomenal. And again, I'm not saying that the Dark Prime is by any means perfect, but the paint apps, what little paint apps it does have, they do it in the right places. You know, even you can see here the eyes, just that silver in the pupils. It really does pop. This really does look more like, I guess, a collectible than this here, which is, you know, I guess gives off a more toyish kind of feel. Yes, the regular release does have some painted silver details, but it's done in the wrong places, and the choice of using, you know, a straight up blue for the head really washes out all that detail, all that gorgeous detail in the head sculpt, which is a shame. And again, we do get that more screen accurate, more movie accurate flame design here for the Dark Prime as well. So there are two other versions of this mold, I believe, the Singapore and Malaysia Toys R Us exclusive, a battle damaged version, and a SDCC exclusive as well. I don't have both of those versions with me, but just looking at screenshots, I still do think that Dark Prime here is more screen accurate. And in saying that, I do recommend him. I think if you don't own any of these molds and you're looking for just one screen accurate without having to paint or do anything to the actual figure itself, I think this guy is the one to get. Again, I don't know how easy it'll be to get him over in the States or any other country besides Japan, but if you do get a chance to pick him up, yeah, definitely. And just like the Voyager Megatron from the same line, I really do hope the same company upscales this version of Prime as well, because it has a lot of potential and it's a fantastic mold. You know, give it some wrist swivels, some ankle pivot, maybe a more compact backpack, and I would buy the hell out of it. And in saying that, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope I gave you guys enough information to decide which version of this mold you guys want, or if you already have this mold, whether it's worth it for you to pick up the EX version or not. And that's it from me. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and let me know your thoughts about the figure down in the comments below. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. You guys are awesome. I'll see you for the next one. Bye.